Are we approaching the extinction of free practice sessions during a Formula One race weekend? CEO Stefano Domenicali mentioned that could definitely be a possibility. And I agree with him. I think it's an amazing idea, and I'm going to tell you why. Starting off with the point of view of a race fan. Do you guys actually watch all the Formula One free practice? Do you actually watch FP1, FP2, and FP3? When I'm not at a race weekend with Haas, and let's say I'm watching from home, I definitely don't watch the practices. I for sure love watching qualifying, and I love watching the race. But I don't find interest in watching practice. I follow the results, but I don't actually sit and watch the TV and follow the sessions. And that's why I believe the CEO Stefano Domenicali is contemplating the idea of stopping all the free practices from Formula One race weekends. When I say I don't think practices bring any value to Formula One, I'm talking about, fan engagement, audience engagement, whether you're watching from home or you're actually at the race weekend at the track. I don't think the value of having practices is that high. That's why I think CEO Stefano Domenicali is contemplating, removing the Formula One practice sessions from a Formula One race weekend. The other positive from that is, continuing on the point of view of a race fan, I love watching exciting qualifying sessions and races. What removes that excitement is the predictability. So when one driver starts always qualifying on pole position, when he starts winning all the races, it doesn't become that exciting. I mean, when that ends up happening, you kind of start focusing more on what's that team that's not expected to finish on the podium. That's what becomes exciting, not the winner, but the unexpected teams finishing on the podium or unexpected teams finishing in the points. So you start looking at other storylines to make the qualifyings or the races more exciting. But removing the practice sessions from the race weekend will add a whole nother level of excitement, in my opinion. When the teams have 3 practice sessions in a race weekend to get the setup right for every track and master the strategy for every race with the practice sessions, things become much more predictable. Obviously, the best team with the best car are going to fine-tune the setup the best. They're going to have the biggest window to get the car in the right setup for that track. When you remove practices, the smaller teams, becomes a little bit more of a lottery. Those smaller teams have a bigger chance of hitting the setup just right and having an advantage over a bigger team. Imagine arriving at a race week and you have to go straight to qualifying. First, the drivers are going to be a little bit cold, so you're going to increase the room for mistakes in qualifying from every driver. Teams are going to be risking in setup because they're not going to, know if the track conditions have changed, if the track grip has changed compared to their data from last year. So they're going to be risking a little bit with setup. So you give these smaller teams a bigger chance to fight for something they usually don't. And then you go to the race. Usually in a normal race weekend, you have 3 sessions to try every compound of tire. You have 3 compounds of tire for every Formula One race weekend. So the teams in the practice sessions, they try every compound and they see what tire fits their car the best, and then they come up with the best strategy for both of their cars in the race. If you remove that, the teams will arrive to the race kind of clueless almost. They won't know. So the chances of a team getting a strategy wrong or right increase dramatically. So even the best team might not get the best strategy. And then that gives the other teams that are less competitive more chance of, hitting the jackpot, maybe winning a race, maybe finishing on a podium. So I think in that aspect, that as a fan wanting more excitement, removing practices would be fantastic in my opinion. Whether they put qualifying on Friday, they do a sprint race every race weekend on a Saturday and a race on Sunday, whether that's the right way to go, I don't know. Maybe it's just qualifying and race, and then maybe on Friday they do something for fans that are actually on track to be able to come and see the cars. A lot of the times I see the fans, they buy the tickets to watch from the grandstands, but they never actually have the chance to come and see the cars in the garage or see the whole infrastructure that a Formula One team has, which is absolutely incredible, honestly. Every time I show, some of my guests or some team guests, the back of a Formula One garage, or, the engines or the floors, all the aerodynamic parts that go on the car, the people are, they're completely shocked. They didn't expect it to be that high tech. So I think maybe using the Friday to get more of the fans into the garages to be able to experience something different that they usually wouldn't in a normal race weekend, I think that could be a way of going about it. Now, in terms of a racing driver, whether removing practices from a race weekend would be good or bad, I think every driver wants to practice before going out and qualifying and racing because, it gets you in the rhythm. And you don't want to go out and put yourself in a position where you have to put a lap in qualifying and you haven't done any laps in practice. That's what I said. There's more chances of the driver making mistakes. So as a driver, you want to practice. But what I think ends up happening is if you remove the practices, the experienced drivers become more valuable to the teams. Obviously, if you put a rookie in and there's no practices and he has to go straight for qualifying, maybe at a track he doesn't know at, it's going to put the guy in a difficult situation. So in one side, the experienced drivers, they gain value. But an interesting rule that could end up giving value to the rookie or inexperienced drivers is there's no practices unless you are a rookie. Whether you're a race driver or a reserve driver, the teams, if they have a rookie in their team, they can put that guy for one session for 1 hour on Friday or, on Saturday morning before qualifying. I think that then would bring a lot of value to the rookie drivers or the young drivers to give them the opportunity to get a race seat in Formula One or to drive the car a lot more often. So if you're qualified as a rookie, you get that one practice session that the experienced drivers don't get. So as I said, you can either be a rookie race driver that gets that practice session before qualifying, or you're the rookie reserve driver in the team that, the team having you as a rookie there as reserve driver gives them the chance to be able to do the practices. So I think that then brings more opportunity for young drivers to show themselves and show what they can do in Formula One, whether it's with the race seat or being a reserve driver. But anyways, that's my take on it. If Formula One removed the practice sessions, I think it would be fantastic in the fan point of view because it causes more excitement for the race weekends, and as well maybe for, as a racing driver point of view. If you're a rookie and they put a rule where rookies can practice, but experienced guys can't, I think that gives more chance for young drivers to have a chance in Formula One. Yeah, I think it would definitely be exciting. So that's my take on it. What do you guys think?